Hello, YouTubers. It's been about a week since we moved everything. This is the Sunday after the Monday. As you can see, the aircraft is all folded up and it does fit into the hangar. It doesn't have a lot of room. As you can see, we're about 3 feet behind it and about a foot in front. Well, the nose of the floats are against the cabinet over there. But as you can see, the ceiling, we have about 6 inches from where the wings are. And this is how this aircraft folds up. And it's everything is fine as far as in position. And as you can see, it's still all in the folded position, but you can get an idea the heights involved. And I'm making preparations to begin and start the annual inspection, etc. It shouldn't be too bad. I did find out, I've done some looking and searching on the plane, and after I got my borescope out, I was able to go into the fuel tank, and the reason that my fuel float on the left side, the fuel gauge, stopped working after a few days of being working in good shape and everything. I found out that the actual float on the arm of the fuel sending unit has absorbed a bunch of fluid. It's a clear plastic, or it's a white plastic, but it's like a hollow float that clips onto the arm of the mechanism that makes the gauge work. And it was full of fuel, so it would sink, so it would read no fuel even though the tank was full. So there must be a small hole in it. I've got to remove the gauge from the end of the tank, but this is the tank here that has the problem. And by running my borescope up in there, I found the fuel sender, which is up in this area over here on the tank. Inside, it's got the float and it's full of fuel. So I'm going to take that out and buy a new float for it. And we got to do the front gear down over here. But as you can see, my room is very minimal. But anyway, the airplane's in here, safe and sound. Everything came out all right. And we're going to start working on it here very shortly. But the other news is this is my 12 kilowatt inverter. And the lights in this hangar right now are running off my new lithium iron phosphate battery bank, because I had to replace my lead acid battery bank because they were not capable of chemically producing enough power for the inverter to continue working. And here are those batteries that have been replaced. They're all good. They just need to be in a smaller system. Like I said, mine's a 12 kilowatt system, so they work these batteries a little bit too much for their design. So here we have 16 6-volt deep cycle 220 amp hour lead acid batteries that are all in good shape. They'd be perfect for a 24 or a 12 volt system, as long as it's a smaller system, so they don't have to make too much current. I mean, they do 100 amps, which for most systems is enough, but mine needed more. These are for sale if anybody needs a set of batteries. The 8 batteries cost right at $1,000 in Florida, and of course there's a couple $100 in shipping, a little bit in duty, because they are solar batteries. They cannot be used in a car. They're too heavy, and they're only 6 volt. Unless you want to double up, you can do it to that. But there's $2,000 in Miami cost worth of batteries there. So if you know somebody's got $1,000, be happy to let them walk away with them. Of course, they're heavy, so you better bring a truck. But let's see if I can get the label here. Here is a label. They're made by U.S. Battery, which is a company in Florida. And here we go. It's, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. 6 volt. Got 220 amp hour batteries. And like I said, I have 16 of them. So you can make a fairly hefty 12 volt or 24 volt system. But what I have done is I have replaced them with these. And these are lithium iron phosphate. They came already packed. They have the charge equalizer circuitry in it. They're a lot smaller in capacity, but they can put out 200 amps with no problem continuously. And they can also be discharged down to practically zero. And so far my solar charger is working great and wonderful, as you can see. Like it's blinking. We got the 2 DC circuit breakers for protection. And right now, even though it's getting late in the afternoon, my solar panels are still at like 82 volts, and they're charging the batteries at 7.1 amps. And the batteries are they're about a third of the way down. They're down to 52 volts. And pretty soon, because I'm losing the solar power as the sun goes down and the wind is actually dying down a little bit, we're only going where the inverter will go into its charge cycle during the night. Mainly because these don't have enough capacity storage-wise, but they do have capacity current-wise. So as you can see, they're plumbed into the bus bar. They look like a little bit of a mess because of all the wires, but that's the way those things go. And they were put together commercially just like that. They weigh 42 pounds apiece, and they are doing the job. My system is working so far, and the charger has been able to charge them up and switch off, which when these guys gave me a problem, I used to have 32 of them, and they got burned up. Half of them did because the charger and everything was just working them too hard. So anyway, these are still in good shape. We can test them before somebody picks them up, if you know anybody that wants them. There's my kitty. Hi, kitty. What you want tonight? You all right? Yeah, okay. And here, just as a quick note, are 2 paddle boards. They've been in a rental livery, basically, and their skegs were damaged at the actual skeg pocket in the board was broken up because some people damaged them. And so now they've had brand new skegs epoxied into the board, so you can't change them if you ever break it off, but right now they're not going to come out. And these boards are for sale, and they're $400 a piece, and they come with a paddle. So if you know anybody that's wanting to get into the paddle boarding cheap, that's a little less than half price. And they're in good shape. As you can see, the bottoms look good. Let's see here. See if we can flip one up. And there's the tops. And you can see they're in good shape. They're a little scuffed up, a little, what do you want? But anyway, if you know anybody looking, they've just been repaired, and they're ready to go. Just private message me, or I can turn you on to the guy that actually owns them. So, anyway, that's the status for today. If you know anybody needs batteries or stand-up paddleboard, let me know. But so far, my lithium iron phosphate batteries are doing wonderful. I'm very happy because I was afraid the whole fucking system, or sorry about that, the whole system was going to give me trouble, but I narrowed it down to the batteries, and that's what it is. So, just to let you know what's happening with the plane and around the place. So, as you can see, she just barely fits inside. There's not a lot of room, but there's enough room to work on it. And now she's safe from the storms. So, anyway, that's where we're at. Hope you enjoyed the show, and take care.